Greetings, friends and fellow monster hunters. My name is Sean. This is Sean Hunts Monsters, and this is the World Breach Report number 27, where we discuss the files that can help you escape the cage that imprisons your minds. Thanks and gratitude to everyone who's liked, shared, and subscribed to the channel. And for everyone who has not yet done so, you should hop into the Discord server and see if you might not get along with the folks that are going there. Growing pretty organically over there in Discord. And I'm pretty happy with actually the growth of the channel and that it's not super big. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, they really want everything to be huge and they want to reach millions and millions of people. And I'm not really, I kind of have that 300 kind of goal on that. You know what I mean? Where they say like, what is your profession? What is your profession? And then, you know, it winds up only being that the 300 were the only soldiers out of the true lot. And that's kind of how I feel about the monster hunting community. I think that it'll never really get to a huge size, and I'm okay with that because I'd rather have, you know, 2 good friends versus 100 people I don't know. So if you're thinking the same way, head on over to the Discord server and you'll find that many of those people in there have been friends for a super long time. And we're a pretty close-knit community. And as always, you know, I'm here for you, trying to do the best I can to get things moving forwards. Now, one of the things we were talking about, wanted to give an update as to my living on purpose. We have a new section in our Discord called Psi Training, where we talk about health issues, meditation, how to essentially develop yourself to a higher degree. So that'll be something that was, I think it was Stormy's idea was to do that, and she's our one of the moderators that is in there, so always be nice to her. But anyway, in the phase 1 guide a couple episodes ago, I said the objectives were, and I'll let you know where I'm at with this. Don't drink anything in a can. So far, so good. Slow your caffeine intake. Homemade coffee and tea only. Good. Absolutely there. I've nailed that down. As a matter of fact, I started drinking 1 cup of coffee again in the mornings. Today, because it's the weekend, I happen to have 2. But I have started having a cup of coffee in the morning because, well, with the new job, I'm up at 3:30 in the morning, and it's pretty rough. And basically makes my life just a little bit happier to have some black coffee. Pro tip, if you want to have something that's a little bit better than black coffee where you're not having sugar, make sure you get the hazelnut beans because they use essential oils to flavor that. There's no additional sugar. So a bit of a hack trick there. I mix it half and half with like regular coffee, and hazelnut provides just enough of a taste that doesn't make your life suck too bad. Buy a cooler, eat only from that. Been able to keep up with that. So that's going well. Moving forwards, and since I started this whole journey, things are moving well for me. I've been able to drop weight. Since April 23rd, I'm down 25 pounds so far. So it's not a bad haul, but you know, it's about a lifestyle choice. It's not a diet. It is your diet, and so you want to make sure you can stay on top of that. I've noticed that there's a lot of people that are going outside in the Discord server. We've been talking and going for walks. Very good, very good. Stormy and specifically has been logging some big miles, which is great because it's all about what you can do, not what you should do. So do what you can. And you'll find actually within the fitness community, I found this really well, is that they seem to be more turned on to people who are just starting out because they want to be super encouraging because they were all there once, you know, and I found that people have been really, really encouraging within that. But I definitely recommend that you got to start somewhere and just accept that this is going to be something that you change for the rest of your life because you're sick of being sick and tired. So that's a good way to do it. Track your day on your calendar app. Guilty here. I have not been able to keep up on this as much as I have. I have started making physical lists though. And this is something that I think is a really good thing to do. I found that I've been way more productive since I've made a list of the things I have to accomplish and then attack that straightforward. That's been going very, very well. And stop all social media. Well, I'm good at that. I'm not on social media at all. So, you know, it's not much of a give up for me. So, you know, but I could appreciate there are people out there. But so far I've been able to rein in. I've got that one nailed down as well. We're doing really well. Change your media intake to audiobooks, chosen movies, and physical books. I don't cruise Facebook. I don't doom scroll. Mind you, it's getting that way with YouTube now. If you get on YouTube, you'll start to flip through stuff. You got to watch that. So there's been a couple times where I've looked at YouTube and kind of scrolled a little bit, but I'd say that I'm about 90% there on stopping social media. 100% if you think social media is like Facebook and everything like that, but generally watching what you choose on purpose. And then your daily medication through meditation, daily meditation hack. I have not been doing my daily meditations. It's true. It's true. Even though I linked to the HemiSync file and it's only 30 minutes and I've got it there, all I got to do is sit down and put some headphones on. I have been unable so far to move forwards with that. I'll report back to you in a little while, let you know if that improves. But, you know, hey, nobody is perfect. You definitely want to check out that HemiSync, though, because it's useful. And you can report back in on the Psi abilities or Psi training chart on the Discord server. And mobility yoga. I have not been doing that either. Yes, I suck. It's been kind of rough, actually. I haven't been doing that. I haven't been keeping up on that, but we want to change that again. So I'm probably going to, yeah, I'll do better. Sorry, guys. But guilty as charged. I have not been doing my meditations, and I have not been doing any stretchy, bendy yoga, mind-focusing stuff. Do you know why? Because it's hard, and I hate it with the intensity of 1,000 suns. But it is exceptionally good for you, so you should probably try to move forwards with that. Now, how do you know when you are getting close to the target? It's when all the flack starts coming in. And then some of the flack that's been hitting guys right now is when skeptics attack. Yes, Jason Colavito. Jason Colavito has a blog where he doesn't actually build anything. All he does is tear other people down. There's two ways you can make your name for yourself, either by doing things or attacking other people that do things. And skeptics are generally people that attack other people for doing things. Now, Playboy profiled Jeremy Corbell, which is interesting because he just recently came forward with Sleeping Dogs, a documentary, and they're claiming that in this Playboy article, which I've linked, it's the for-profit mysteries of ufology, which is pretty hilarious because there's not a lot of profit in ufology. Area 52 had to cancel a bunch of his shows. Who's going to Vancouver, by the way, and moving across Canada? I'm thinking about hitting that show in August. Let me know if you think you can make it to that one, because it'd be fun to do a small group if we can head out there. But yeah, it's interesting that they're saying it's a for-profit. But let's get through this here. Playboy magazine ran a feature profiling the day in the life of Jeremy Corbell, following the UFO podcaster in Contact in the Desert Paranormal Gathering. Contact in the Desert is the largest gathering of its type. It was started by Coast to Coast AM. It's kind of a mecca. I hope to go there one day. It's sort of like the DEF CON version for all things paranormal. Reporter Mattia Busby captures a tawdry side of ufology from UFO show's Ben Hansen selling $720 binoculars to UFO buffs during the for-profit UFO hunt that brought an estimated $10,000 to what Busby implies was Corbell's narcissistic and controlling personality. That's an insult. And it's also one man's narcissist is another man's confidence. I mean, Jeremy Corbell has been in the game a while now. If you look at any footage going all the way back to the Senate hearings on UFOs, there he is. I mean, the guy's doing the work. Busby correctly identifies ufology as an incipient religion. UFO celebrities, as depicted in the piece, ride the line between wannabe saviors, basking in the adoration of their fans, and paranoid grifters, scamming every last dollar from revelations they have no intention on delivering on. This is garbage. Okay, I'm going to get through this. The piece left Corbell enraged, and he demanded an apology because Busby confused statements from the two alleged UFO witnesses, attributing them to wrong witnesses. Corbell then used an opening attack in the article as a hit piece that failed to pay sufficient homage and respect to ufology and ufologists, especially, say, Jeremy Corbell. I invite you to read the piece in full, but here are a few highlights worth pointing out. So says this guy. Corbell is now proudly an ancient astronaut theorist. I suspect there's a technology advanced civilizations have been in contact with humanity since the beginning of recorded history, he said in Contact in the Desert. Yeah, probably. I mean, gods have eaten much. He didn't make that up. And to call it the ancient astronauts theory is just ridiculous. Of course, do you think these things just showed up yesterday? No. What do you think built Soxawai Man? Clearly, the person who wrote this article is a retarded. Corbell seems to revel in the Freudian reasons for his deference to the U.S. government, the sole path to truth, calling the government daddy. That's not correct at all. Jeremy Corbell is very distrustful of the government, and he's making a joke in the 1984 sort of sense, like Big Brother, Daddy, these guys are trying to look after us, and they're trying to enslave us, and they're trying to make us their masters. So that is tongue-in-cheek and with sarcasm that he calls them that. Corbell has a large contingent of female fans in an otherwise male-dominated field, and they seem to be sexually attracted to him. Well, that's totally conjecture, and it's not a male-dominated field at all. In fact, there's quite a few women who are involved in paranormal research, most psychics. As a matter of fact, it's almost fairly safe to say that that I think more women are psychic than men. It seems to be a vast majority of women are involved in this. And they seem to be sexually attracted to him. How the fuck would you know that? And two, like, that's blatantly subjective and an attack on Jeremy Corbell. Let's be clear. I've seen, there's an interview with Jeremy Corbell. Jeremy Corbell is kind of scattered. He's a different kind of guy. He like, when I see the dude and I see him talking informally, I mean, you know, it doesn't matter. He could be a screaming jerk. Like, who really cares? What matters is the data he brings forward. I don't care if it's a talking bass, man. If it gives you straight information, then so be it. He goes on to say, Corbell is apparently obsessed with this press and tries to alternately charm and intimidate reporters into writing only positive things about him. Again, totally subjective. Where's your proof on this? You got nothing on this. This is entirely a hit pick. Everything in ufology comes with a fee attached. It's all about the Benjamins. Well, these guys have done a lot of work out of their pocket, and they need to try to make a few bucks. So I don't think that's necessarily a sin. I don't think they charge way too much, and a vast majority of their information they give away for free. And when you have a piece like this, where it's just so easy for a gentleman like this Mr. Colavito to attack someone who is way more prominent, has done more for the community, and is trying to build something up rather than tear it down, it makes me a little angry. So I've linked to his article there. You can go to his website, read his stuff. I'm sure you'll agree. But I highlight this because there are always people who will attack us. They don't have to be on the government payroll. They just want to be useful idiots. So this guy, everything in ufology comes with a fee attached. It's all about the Benjamins. Is it all fake, though? Is it fake? Is he faking it? Because, I mean, everything in life comes with a fee attached. I mean, show me something that doesn't have a fee attached. Go on, I dare you. Other than, like, say, my media. But beyond that, you know, really, what has it? Name something that doesn't. So this is super selective and very annoying. Again, I don't know Jeremy Corbell. Seems like an okay dude. But, I mean, I know a hit piece when I see one, and this is garbage that they would come out and say that. And of all the articles of Playboy, for Christ's sakes, like, give me a break, man. You guys suck. So, of course, you know, everything in ufology comes with a fee attached. It's all about the Benjamins. Oh, you didn't say it was fake, though. Oh, you said it was a religion, right? That's what you said. Oh, yeah, it's a religion, so there's no real proof like there is in other religions. Which brings us to S4, which is Bob Lazar's new video, which is out. You can get it on Prime. It's $18 to rent, $20, $30 to buy. I bought it. I got it because I was like, I don't know if I want to see this, because, I mean, I know the story of Bob Lazar. And I was and a buddy of mine at work said, hey, man, you want to check this out? Because they know I'm kind of into this stuff. They don't know how far into this stuff I am, but they know I'm kind of into this stuff. And so I'm like, all right, well, he says, is it good? Yeah, it's really, really good. And I have to say, after watching it, it is very, very good. It's very well put together. It's an excellent video. It pairs well with I Know What I Saw. So if you've gone out, you got yourself a date with some significant other, and they're like, you know, relatively normal, and they start asking you questions about why you've got all, 10-week supply versus of tools, a whole, tool selection, and you've got a library full of books on UFOs, paranormal, and missing 411. They're like, that seems kind of weird. You're like, oh, really? Well, let me show you something. And so what I would show them is probably I Know What I Saw or S4. S4 is a little bit more current, but S4 would be would pair well with those two. Those are two really good primer packs, and then you can slide from those straight into the Y files and begin their gradual path into sanity damage. Now, going along with this as well, with this mystery religion that this dipshit keeps talking about, is the fact that the government has now released its third batch of files saying it's all true. So it's religion, don't you know? We're not actually under siege by aliens at all. It's not like this is an actual thing. The Trump administration released yet another batch of government UAP records, including videos of glowing orb-like objects that appear to split and rejoin, witnesses' accounts, illustrations, and decade-old investigation documents. The documents indicate the government agents had spent years monitoring, investigating, and documenting suspected UAP incidents. At least some of the sightings took place near sensitive government facilities, according to the reports. Videos showing red, yellow, light-emitting orbs, some of which appear to split apart and then reattach, then fly across the sky. Illustrations and videos showing reenactments of what observers saw and the positions they were in when they viewed them, memos from the government agents describing their experiences, and an illustration of a grayish-white balloon-like object. So, yeah, that's a thing. That's a real thing now. Not a religion. Do not worship. So, I mean, there'd be more and more of these skeptics who are drastically trying to hold on to the tail end of what they believe, where they're like, oh no, it's all a lie. It's a lie. No, actually, you're the lie. You're the person who believes with their head in their sand, where guys like Bob Lazar, who've been taking it in the teeth since, like, what, the late 80s? I mean, there's lots of people that have been killed over this stuff. And to have guys coming forward, reigning this weird skeptic thing and keeping their head in the sand, tell you what, why don't you go put 3 masks on, read some more about the oncoming plague, and, do what you want to do, bro. But don't come to me and tell me it's the truth, when quite clearly we can see from overwhelming evidence coming from every possible angle, including the government's actual release of documented files, that this is a real thing that's happening. There are outworld entities who are probably among us. Probably some of them are watching this show right now. And I should state, I don't think they're all bad. Like, I don't think that outworld entities are something that needs to be completely, chastised. I don't think they should all be destroyed. I think there's just like, it's like saying humans are good or humans are bad. There's probably some good aliens and some bad aliens. There's probably aliens who are working to nefarious ends. And to those aliens, I would say you should stop that. Because if we catch you, we're not going to be really happy. And I don't know if you watch the movies I watch, but it doesn't usually go well for aliens who are, against us. Mind you, you could be a nice alien, maybe trapped here, maybe looking for help. We help aliens that need help. We're generally really nice people, generally speaking. Like, I think even downtown gang members would help E.T. You know what I mean? Like, we're okay. We're not bad people. But, if you're showing up, cutting up our kids and cows, we're going to get upset. That's just the way things are. If I showed up at your house, started cutting up your pets, taking your kids, I imagine you get pretty hostile too. So kind of a universal truth there. Let's not cause too many problems with that. But that's what I think is going down here. So, And of course, now we got these 2 stories that came out this week, which is, it makes me kind of think about the powers that be. Scientists, the term scientists, I'm really aware when they say things like scientists have said, which is like, the religion of our time. You want to talk about the religion of our time? Science has become the religion of our time. And when you invoke the name scientists, you have no right to question this. Scientists may have secretly miscalculated how many humans are on the Earth. Holy crap. 8.2 billion, a study suggests, we might be 8.2 billion. A study suggests we might be vastly underrepresenting rural areas. By analyzing 300 rural dam projects across 35 countries, researchers from Aalto University in Finland discovered discrepancies amongst these independent population counts of other population data gathered between 1975 and 2010. Such underreporting could have consequences in terms of resource allocation within a country. But other experts remain skeptical that decades of population counting could be off by such a wide margin. Yes, there's too many people, says the death cult followers. Yes, far too many people. But don't you worry, those same scientists have warned the global population could be halved by 2064. What? Yes, a hidden pattern reveals the worst case crisis scenario. Oh, really? Yeah. Now, a new mathematical model suggests that hidden within the rise of a deeper pattern, one that may also point out how quickly things can change if humanity runs into the planet's limits. The published in Chaos, Solitons, and Fractals, the study was authored by University of Milan physicist Dr. Alessio Zaccone and the late Dr. Kostka Tranchenko of Queen Mary University in London. Their work used commonly used mathematical methods to describe disordered materials. When scientists study how complex systems evolve, relax, and respond over time. By applying this new model to our growth, Dr. Zaccone and Dr. T have discovered their simple equations to embrace a wide range of growth regimes observed in the last 12,000 years, from long periods of relative stability to rapid acceleration of our growth to the onset of the industrial age. So, yes, we're going to lose billions of people. Yes, it's inevitable. So says the scientists. These same scientists who, have brought us all the great things that have gone on in our life in the last little while. I think maybe now it might be a good time to start thinking about what scientists you want to listen to. Because I remember hearing an expression which was, any scientist who can't explain his theory to a 5-year-old is a fraud. And I happen to believe that. Speaking of science, you know what else science is locked down? Antarctica. So we got some Antarctica in the news. Listen to this. In Antarctica, scientists just discovered, those scientists, man, they get around, a massive hidden structure deep below the frozen surface. Bit of a lost leader here. Composed of several gigantic basins located more than 3 kilometers of the southern continent's icy exterior, the unusual structure has been dubbed the East Antarctic Fan-Shaped Basin Province. Sounds like somebody's trying to get ahead of something. The massive feature is large enough to be considered continental in scale, and all by itself incorporates some of the best-known subglacial features in the region, which include the famous Wilkes and Aurora basins. The fan-shaped geological megastructure also features basins which comprise America's Lake Vostok, which is recognized as the largest subglacial lacustrine feature anywhere on the planet. So they come out with these stories about Antarctica, and they're like, oh yeah. And I think a lot of these are just, well, they're to keep you quiet. They're to make you shut up. They're to make you not ask questions about what's going on in Antarctica. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there was a Kick streamer, WV Vagabond, who was live streaming from Antarctica, and until Antarctic authorities, because apparently there's Antarctic authorities, confiscated his Starlink device, abruptly cutting the feed. Authorities claimed that the shutdown was due to cybersecurity concerns and protection of sensitive research operations in Antarctica. What exactly is happening in Antarctica that has that level of secrecy? From the ice core drilling and marine biology, long-standing conspiracy theories about hidden civilizations and alien technologies, and Nazi Base 211, Antarctica has always been one of the most mysterious places on Earth. Now, what makes this event even more interesting is that Canada recently completed its first ever Canadian-led scientific expedition to Antarctica aboard the Royal Canadian Navy ship HMCS Margaret Brooke. But we don't hear a lot about Antarctica other than these pieces that come out saying, oh yeah, we found a basin, and in case something does get out, they've got this controlled where we say we kind of knew about it. But they're definitely confiscating Starlink stuff from people going down there. Now, why would you do that? Why would you do that? That's a really interesting thing. And I think it's because there's a good chance Antarctica is Atlantis. I think that there's something down there that they really want to keep hidden. And if that was to get out, well, quite obviously there is something down there that they do want to keep hidden. And also, these same scientists, these guys who have been talking smack to us all these years, have finally just come out saying, oh yeah, by the way, might be another planet here beyond Neptune. Yeah, that 9th planet, it's a thing. The search for a 9th planet in our solar system could reach a turning point soon as this year, according to a planetary scientist involved in the hunt for a mysterious object believed to be lurking in the outer reaches of our solar system. For the past decades, astronomers around the world have been searching for evidence from another resident in our planetary neighborhood. As far back as 2016, there were already hints that something might be out there. Further back than that, I might add. Given the odd orbits of distant objects like Sedna, discovered in 2003. Or, of course, we could always just think about Pluto, or as I like to call it, Yugioth, which has been, kind of ignored now. It's no longer, Yuggoth, which has been sort of forgotten about. So now we've got a new one, Planet 9, that's going to be coming in. Interesting. Yeah, so how do you miss a planet? That's what I want to know. Because these guys, they all talk with such mad authority. And yet, now, they're talking about a whole nother planet. And you expect me to take you people seriously and base my lives on what you people say? No, I don't think so. I think it's time for us to read for ourselves. I think it's time for us to choose our own media and what we listen to. I think it's time to live on purpose and to live as you choose and take responsibility for what you put into your head. One of the things that people started to put into their head, which is making me a bit dodgy, is DMT. Now, I don't really like how this is going, but there's a new theory that says DMT entities might be real and proposes how to test it. About 45% of people who smoke sufficient dose of DMT report the same strange thing. They are no longer alone. They describe a tunnel, a portal, some kind of waiting room, and then beings, machine elves, insectoid creatures, jesters, deities, entities that seem to manufacture impossibly complex objects in the air as if showing off. Humans, oddly, mostly never turn up. Now, There are guys that are running DMT on drips, where they're sending people on these long-term stones to go try to map this other realm, like very H.P. Lovecraft Dreamland style. And for me, I don't know if I really think that's such a fantastic plan. You know, I don't know if that's something that we should be doing. It feels like it's exploitive. And for hundreds and thousands of years, like hallucinogens like mushrooms and DMT have been used as a very sacred thing. And abuse happens when you take something that's sacred and you turn it into something profane. Like, when you look at like Wade Davis and these guys, they say that the experience they had on DMT is not the same experience that people are having in the jungle right now. And as we capitalize on this, and the fact that the mainstream seems to be embracing this and pushing this on people, that makes me take a big step back. I'd only look at any kind of drug that doesn't have an LDA. I don't know if DMT has an LDA, but I know that mushrooms don't, and a lethal dosage amount. So you could eat like a hay bale full of mushrooms, you wouldn't die. Same with marijuana. You could smoke a ton of it and you'll just puke. I think the same thing will happen with mushrooms. You'll also puke. But yeah, I kind of believe that if you're going to do mushrooms, you shouldn't, play around with this stuff. You should treat it like a sacred thing where you go in, have an experience, leave, and don't keep going back to something like that. Go have your 5 grams in total darkness, Terence McKenna style. Do your research. Lots of Terence McKenna online. And you can see why I might feel that way. But this whole threshold thing that people are doing and now mess around with DMT, it kind of gives me shades of, the 60s and the Manson family, and perhaps no good can come of this. So and that's why I don't talk about, there's no drugs inside the Discord forums. We don't do that. We don't do it in Psi research. It's not something we touch on because there's lots and lots of servers that talk about drug use. If you want to go get your drug on, absolutely go there. Nothing against that. Absolutely. Recreational pharmaceuticals, you go fill your boots. But that's not something we do here on Sean Hunt's Monsters. It's something that I think we need to be aware of. And I think that may be a contact modality, but the juice is just not worth the squeeze. The minute you start taking a hallucinogen, you can't trust anything you see. And no one else is going to trust what you saw either. If you're on a personal journey, that's up to you. But go easy, bro. Go easy. And I personally believe that if you can't get there with mushrooms and weed, you're probably doing it wrong. Honest to God. So it's time for some bad ideas. Bad idea news. Yes? What do we got as a bad idea this week? Well, how about the scientists? God, I love these guys. Can you get enough of these guys? Seriously. Scientists propose that spraying chemicals into the Earth's magnetic field could protect us from powerful solar storms. Yeah. So to be clear, we're going to aerosol spray stuff into the magnetic field that will defeat the ultimate power in our solar system. Yeah, that's going to defeat it. Yeah, the sun. Yeah, you want to know how big the Earth is compared to the sun, and you think that that's going to make the slightest business? Okay, when you apply some really serious physics to it, it does work. Some serious physics as opposed to what, the silly physics? When severe solar storms hurtle towards the Earth, the planet's first line of defense is its magnetosphere. Its vast magnetic bubble that deflects the brunt of the sun's dangerously charged particles. Historically, humanity's only attempted to forecast storms and brace for impact. Because, again, it's the sun. Now, however, a team led by Brian Walsh of Boston University has proposed a bold method to actively strengthen the natural defense using a fleet of spacecraft designed to blunt the impact of space weather before it hits us. What could possibly go wrong? The concept, dubbed Stormwall, uses computer simulations, to show that reinforcing the magnetosphere could reduce the intensity of a major geomagnetic storm by more than half. Yeah, more than half, hey? If realized, the researchers say the system could protect vulnerable satellites, global communication networks, GPS systems, and electrical grids from a potentially catastrophic disruptions. Well, we're dealing with the sun. So half is probably not going to be enough to stop jack and shit. So, cool idea, bro. Except for the fact that we don't know what the hell else that's going to do. So how about we don't do that and mess with something that shouldn't be messed with because we have no idea what the long-term effects are. That is easily this week's ultimate in bad ideas. I can't even. How do you even get close to that? So it's hard, man. It's hard when we live in a day and age when this is what the powers that be are dumping down your throat. And you got to admit that, we live in an age of influencers and nobody who's actually intimate or who cares about you. And it's that's why I say, compared to the other people that are online, I do care. I do care. I am your friend. I genuinely am concerned about the things that I say to you because you might take it seriously. I'm genuinely concerned about your well-being. I really am. I mean, it's hard for me to, I got 300 members of the channel and there's the monkey sphere and whatever. But anyone who's followed my work for any length of time knows I actually care. I really do. And that's why when I sign off now, I look at you and I can say, hey, man, don't worry. Because if you don't have anybody else, and if I'm all you got, hey, man, then I am, in fact, your only friend.